second challenger you play in your life was amazing.
Especially coming from, like you said, 4 futures.
Yeah.
And you go to your first challenger to qualify, which many people go to the first challenger, don't qualify for many challengers.
Yeah.
And then the second event, you get your medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I play my medal, 3rd place. Was
pretty awesome.
Was sweet.
Yeah.
A pretty funny story. I think back in 2020, we just met each other, me and Ruben, and we're walking at the beach. Like, we're not really friends. And we're talking about tattoos, and we said, okay, will you ever get a tattoo? And Ruben said, yeah, sure. If I ever get a medal in a big tournament, I'll get a tattoo. And I said, okay, sure, I'll do the same. We shook hands on it. And then
where's your tattoo, man?
2 years later, we won a medal together at the event in the Challenger, you know, first big medal. And we're at a party afterwards, late. We saw a tattoo shop, and like, we chickened out.
So, we're cursed ever since.
Yeah, you would have got the tattoo, then you would have been smooth sailing. Medals every challenger after that.
Yeah. But what you get? Like 4 o'clock somewhere in Brazil, Sunday night.
It's never too late.
Yeah,
we can
go get it.
Next medal, maybe next medal tattooed. You guys heard it here first. We're
okay.
gonna get it.
There we go. Next one.
We're gonna shake hands on it.
Or maybe elite. How about an elite medal?
An elite medal.
Elite medal.
Elite medal you could shake on.
It might never happen, so there we go.
Wow.
Or
Ruben,
it might.
You hear that?
Or it might.
Yeah.
Or it might.
No, it's not gonna say.
It's on camera.
We're gonna definitely win this. Trying to stay humble.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the crazy thing about World Tour right now these days is like, it's so deep.
Yeah.
If you guys went and medaled in an Elite 16, it wouldn't be like a big surprise. A lot of these teams are even deep in challengers. They make an Elite 16, get on the podium. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of normal nowadays.
Podium.
Back in the day, it was like the top 15 were like solid, and then behind that, no one's gonna jump up unless it's an up and coming team that's gonna be top.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
It's
that was
very
pretty
doable.
high. Yeah, it's fun. So after that medal, like that was the start, and the year was just really fun, and we had our up and downs.
Yeah.
Qualified for the world champs, and I
It's
don't know,
huge.
it felt like almost normal. Like that was okay. That's how it's gonna be. And
Yeah.
we had so much adventures and so much fun and so much also downs, fights. It was really emotional, cool year. But after that, we kind of we both, at least I can talk for myself. I don't know about you, Ruby. We expected everything to get up, you know. We just started, we're already doing this. We're going to qualify for the Olympics, let's go.
Right.
And, you know, getting into the Olympic season, we had a few bad tournaments. And then we went from, you know, skyrocketing up to huge crash in confidence. And we didn't handle that pretty well. So we split up after. But in retrospective, just that, like, said, okay, you can lose 3 times in the quality and you'll be fine. And keep going and deal with it.
Right.
It would have been better, but we got, like, in a really high really quick, and afterwards really down really quick.
It's hard, yeah.
But that's dealing with that kind of stuff is what beach volley was about, I feel.
Yeah.
So
especially with the 4 tournaments, the 4 results, like you need to keep points. So if you lose like 4 good results, you're like back in the qualifier, and you're back. And
you do 3 good ones, you're like, okay, now I'm where I think I belong, maybe, right?
top of the world, baby.
Top of the world, or just like I think I'm a this level player, and now I'm here, and that feels good. Let's stay here.
Yeah.
And then you have a small little run there where you're off, and then the rankings shoot you all the way back down. But in your mind, you're like, I'm not a worse player now. I'm not that level now. I'm not like 50th in the world now. All of a sudden, but now my ranking's there. So it's like such a mind game.
And I think that's very important for us, and I think for every beach volleyball player, is just to keep your confidence even when you're at lows, and it's definitely also when you're at highs. It's like it's very important to just being an athlete and don't get the results into your head, and
don't identify your personality with your results. And that was really tough at. I say that age as if I'm old now. I'm still a baby, but
we're still dealing with it.
No, you get it.
But it was tough. Like, you know, I felt really maybe too good at a certain point. They go down, you're like,
right, yeah.
I mean, like, how great that you got to experience that at 22 and 23, and to feel those feelings, to be at the lows. And so now moving forward, this is part of the experience that we were talking about. As you get older, you've already experienced that now, and so when it comes up again, you're better prepared. You're in a better place. And I wonder for you guys, like, if you guys joined first 3 challengers, you didn't qualify. You know, it's like, okay, we're still grinding. Then you get better and better, and then, but because you had success early, did that maybe put more pressure on you? Did you have expectations because of that success early? For sure, right?
Yeah,
it's
even
hard.
when we qualified for the World Champs, it was like, okay, we can't lose anymore. It was like, so a lot of expectations, and then definitely the bad results get very tough. Like,
I was actually convinced to make a great run for the Olympics, and then I think we lost the first 6 games of our season.
Yeah,
but you got injured a bit at a certain point.
Also,
then Christian got without a partner.
Yeah.
Christian Varnors, he got an injury. So he was asking one of us, and we both kind of agreed, okay, if he's asking one of us,
it would be a huge opportunity for
to like revive our Olympic cycle. But we're so sad. Like, we played 4 bad tournaments. It's like we're already we're not making it. Like, so
that's that can happen quick.
Yeah. So and Chris at the end, I went to play with Chris, and he got injured pretty quickly. So that was also we had a good run this year, but it's been tough. He had some back problems, so it's not been a really easy season. And you also didn't have an easy season.
No, I had a good groin injury, like, and that's can take really long to, like, rehabilitation is just really long. And I was really convinced that Christian was gonna choose me, actually. So that was kind of a battle. Yeah, I think we played really good together in the Continental Cup.
Yeah.
So I was really disappointed as well. So mentally it was also really tough.
Yeah.
But it was not bad blood or anything. I was just happy for Leon also.
No. Yeah.
And
we always stayed good friends. Like, what happened at 2022, we made so much great memories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You share one bedroom with a person for a long time, and we were okay. So Ruben and I are pretty different in character.
Okay.
And at the start, it was especially tough because I can be pretty all over the place, and Ruben couldn't stand that at a certain point.
Yeah, also a lot younger, or not a lot, but a decent amount younger.
Yeah.
4 years.
So we had some fights, and I remember one timeout in which you just stood up, and we had a timeout, and I was sitting, and Ruben was at the referee's place, and
I could not sit next to him. Just couldn't. And we're just yelling. I was next to the referee, and was like, the referee was telling me like, "Okay, go back to your seat." I was like, "No, I can't sit next to him." I was like,
"Can I sit by you?"
No.
I think there's a video of that. I was sitting just in my time, like 50 seconds just alone.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these moments get you really close, and we grew a lot together, and
sure.
We definitely can be honest to each other. That's very important, I think, in a partnership.
Few Americans struggle to do that sometimes, but
for sure.
Yeah.
Dutch culture is a bit more...
That's what I hear talking to Mace and Tim, it sounds like, and other Dutch people, like, you guys are very honest with each other.
Yeah.
And I think there's some very good, takeaways from that, and being, just being honest and getting things out early instead of waiting till after the match to be like, hey, I didn't like it when you did this. It was like, well, if you would have told me that in the first set, maybe we would have won set number 2. Right.
Exactly.
So if you guys have built the trust where you can handle the honesty, then great. Let it out, let it rip. Would you say that you were emotional as a player coming in as a young player, or what?
Still am.
Still am. What do you think caused some of the tension, between the two of you, or what did that look like?
I think by nature I'm more introverted. Ellie is more extroverted, and I think we just are very opposite in many ways. So that creates tension.
Yeah. Sure.
We learn to. We learn from each other. I believe the universe puts us together for a reason. I feel like I learned a lot from you, and you learned a lot from me. So, it's very special friendship for me also, and not only a partnership.
Yeah.
So that's also the reason why I celebrated also a little bit that you could play with Christian.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank brother.
Sure. Yeah.
Go.
And also when he asked me for Hamburg, I was like, yeah, sure. I'm not. There's no bad blood. We just good friends, and I still think we can achieve some amazing results together.
So, I agree.
Let's see.
It's always difficult when personal mix up with professional or with some business things.
Sure.
You know it as well on the podcast. I don't know if you have any trouble with that, because it's so you have to be tough on each other on beach volleyball. At least I believe so. I don't believe in the American such a great choice after a horrible choice.
I hit it 5 feet out. That was really good.
Great effort. I feel like beach volleyball is just the most accelerated life lesson learning thing
Yeah,
you could
I
ever
agree.
be on. I'm trying to think of like other examples or sports where it's the same, and I know plenty of them are, but
But there are no
just-
bench players. That's the reason I think.
there's no bench.
No coach.
A lot of times, you don't have a coach.
Partner
Mhm.
coach.
Most of the time you're on the road by yourself, like going to these events, picking what events to go to. Obviously, every country has different ways that they do it in terms of teams.
Mhm.
Picking your partner, asking your partner to play, dumping your partner.
Yeah.
You know, like you're having to fire someone from their job,
Uh-huh.
and it's half your team. You know, and it's very personal because you spent all your time with that person.
Yeah.
So it just like teaches you every life lesson on like a high expectation platform where there's a scoreboard and your money,
Yeah.
your salary or your
depending on
funds are on the line.
Yeah.
If you have a family,
Yeah.
that wife watching,
Yeah.
her funds are on the line. That kid watching, his food
Yeah.
is on the line. You know,
So imagine
It's
being at
wild.
a qualifier, you're super good friends. One of the two misses 4 side-outs. Someone gets really angry.
Yeah.
You fire things up. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
uh-huh.
You're back in the hotel room. Everything is quiet. Like
Yeah, you got to sleep next to the person that night.
Sometimes in the same bed also.
Yeah.
For sure.
They get your bed wrong, or you just ordered a single.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they get it wrong.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, but that's also, I don't know, part of the meaning of beach volleyball. I think that's
Yeah.
where I find meaning in beach volleyball is that it's a pretty tough thing to do.
Yeah.
And life, which is full of comfort and everything is easy and everything is given. Like this is probably one of a really tough thing to do.
Oh,
And
for
of course,
sure.
you're still smashing a ball on a
Yeah.
on a
Yeah,
beach.
yeah.
Like it's
Right.
not, we're not going to war or something.
True,
but
And after a good result, you feel like really rewarded and fulfilled, and it's
Uh-huh.
like
Yes.
an enormous high. Like
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's really fulfilling.
Yeah.
It can be a roller coaster.
Yeah, when you have those losses, I think like I've been telling some of the athletes I've been working with is like, hey, when you signed up for this event, when you stepped on the court, you agreed that you were okay with this feeling that might happen. You agreed that it is possible that you were going to lose. So that's
definitely 35.
yeah, that's, right. That's what happens. But yeah, you signed up for the highs and you signed up for the lows
Yeah.
when you got on the court, and so you can't be surprised if you do lose, because someone's got to win, someone's got to lose,
Yeah.
and it's hard. It's not easy, and I value hearing you guys talk about that you were still able to maintain a friendship even though you guys split and got back together. I think that's super valuable in our sport because, as you know, you play with this person for a little bit and then all of a sudden it doesn't work and you find someone else. But then again, what do you know? You come back together. And so to maintain relationships and keep bridges connected, I think is important. If you go out and burn all these bridges, especially in the beach world, you're going to run out of partners to play with. And so I think it's super great. And I think there's something to be said about playing well on the court and finding a balance off the court, whether it's friendly, whether it's forced time together, whatever it is. But I think the teams that end up having a lot of the success are the ones that are good on and off the court. I remember talking to George and Andre, and George was saying how him and Andre are like best friends. Like Andre's his best man at the wedding. They are so tight off the court. And it doesn't always work like that, but I think there's a lot of value to be had in trying to make it's a business relationship, it's a professional relationship, but at the same time making it work off the court, because it will benefit, I think, on the
Don't
court.
you think it's more personal for everyone? Like, I know I'm a character who appreciates friendship a lot,
Yes.
but some other people
That's
might
correct.
be. I know I play with Christian, and Christian is also like 10 years older than I am, so he wanted to be more business partners,
Yeah.
and that might work best for him. So,
Correct.
don't you think it's more?
I think it can be more personal and what works for you, what works for this person. But I think there's value in having some sort of relationship to court that, you generate trust on the court. Yes, there's something about generating trust and earning points and siding out and knowing when to yell at your partner and knowing when not to. But I think when you have that second foundation of relationship, it's like, I don't know, just a little bit more
It's
trust.
like an energy boost,
Maybe,
too, right? Like
yeah.
this positive
Like, I wanna-
energy that
I
you
want to
have.
work for
Sure.
my guy. I want to
Yeah.
get that ball for
When,
my guy.
when you don't feel like it, especially.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing for someone else has a different energy than playing for yourself.
Yeah.
It-
Something greater than
have
you,
more.
probably.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
more energy.
So-
It'll run out. If you're playing for yourself, you're like,
Not today.
yeah, it'll run out
Uh-huh.
for
Yeah.
sure.
The only problem is if you're not really a disagreeable person and you don't want to get mad at your friends, that might be. Luckily, we don't have that problem. So, guys, I heard you talk a bit about playing for something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Why do you play? What's the meaning? Like,
Mhm.
what's the meaning you find in playing beach volleyball?
I think that's shifted a lot over the years. Like now that we're we've been playing professionally, either indoor or beach for what? When did we graduated in 2011,
We
right?
graduated in 2011. Yes.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
But in the beginning, it's like, as you know, it's like just because it's there, you're like, wow, I have the opportunity to be a professional athlete and live the rest of my life saying I experienced that, right? So it's just the experience of it. Once you experience it, then it's the next step of like, now I want to be an established. Like, how far can I go? How good can I be within that profession of beach volleyball? And I think the whole time you just have a attraction to it because it's so fun, right? We all started playing this sport for fun, just like pretty much everyone does. So to call it your job is you know, a privilege. But then once you set that bar, you always want to go higher and higher and higher. And then as like for me, I have a family now, so the why has changed for providing for them as well. But then you have to balance your priorities, and your priorities start changing over the years, and volleyball starts falling down the list. But your performance needs to stay up there because that's where you set the bar.
Yeah.
So I think I have to keep reinventing that. And like even right now, after going through this, my third Olympic process where I actually failed to qualify for the third time, even though I got to sub in Tokyo, I'm like back to the drawing board. Like, all right, what's my new purpose? What's my why?
Yeah.
And now it's, every time I've done that, it's been completely different. So like right now, it's a lot more, I'm just trying to figure out like what makes me joyful, playful, like I can express my creativity. I need to get back to that because I've been too serious and business oriented and sacrificing so much physically and time wise, away from family, away from doing things that actually are fun for me. And like you said, like it's gotten kind of just not fun on the world tour at times. So having to redefine that. But at the end of the day, it's like the beach and me are a good combination. Athletics, I love sports.
Yeah.
So when I look at like, oh, well, you know, maybe I don't have to play this. I can do another sport. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this. But I think the why is just because you love it, right? Like,
Sure.
But you have to keep trying to find that. It's not always right there at the surface. Like when you're 20 or something, you're just like, why? Because look at it. This is freaking awesome. After you've done it, it's not quite as shiny anymore. You have to really like dig deep to find the value and keep pushing yourself and adapt. I think I answered it. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think it's great the way you kind of answered it, and I agree that when I first started playing, I just wanted to qualify. I just wanted to prove that I could play beach volleyball. I played indoor for 5 years in Europe after college, and then I was like, you know, I've always enjoyed the beach. I want to give it a go and see what's possible on the beach. And then, okay, qualified. Okay, girl, that was amazing. Like the rush of qualifying for an AVP before I started doing international stuff was like the peak high, and then you go in and you get crushed by Phil. Okay, refocus, come back, and then the next main draw.
But still, I'm on the court with Phil.
I'm on the court with Phil, right? It was.
Those are wins at some point.
I remember taking a picture of the board in New York. One of my first qualifying games. I'm like, I'm playing Phil, you know? And then, now I see Phil all the time. We're having conversations. I've played against him a bunch. And so, like you said, it changes over time. And then as for me, like I said, I wanted to qualify, I wanted to do well. Then you win a couple matches and get a top 10. You're like, oh my God, this is huge. Got a top 10. And it's like, okay, well, now I want to make a semifinals, do this, make a semifinal. And so for me, like you said, it changes. It's reinventing the why. I've always enjoyed practice. I've always enjoyed being on the sand. I am happy when I'm playing volleyball for sure. Last year, near the end of the year, was one of the first times in my career where I was feeling not happy on the court. I was like numb at practice. I'm like, I'm burnt. I was burnt out. We had hit a ton of stops last year. We did Thailand, we did China, we did all these stops with the AVP, and I was like, well, this is like different feeling for me to feel. I remember playing with Tim, and he was like, it is not fun to play with you right now. And I'm like, yeah, I hear
That's
you.
honest.
That's very honest, right?
Yeah,
and that was good. We had a relationship that
Tim.
was honest. Yeah, what's that?
Let's go, Tim.
Let's go. And that's good. I want to hear that feedback. You know,
Yeah.
I want my partner to tell me what they feel so I can make a change, so I can be better. And that was like a flag for me last year, just being like, whoa, okay, like this is the first time I haven't really felt joy being in practice. And so coming into this year, my goal was just to kind of finish out this year and play all the events that I could with Tim, do the Sim International and finish out Sim International. And then job opportunity with VBTV and commentating kind of came up and kind of put a little bit of an opportunity in front of me that I couldn't say no. And so that was why me and Tim decided to split, and he needed to go and play some more. But I agree with Tri. Like, I wanted to make an impact. I think part of the reason why I wanted to play was to make an impact on the sport, and to, you know, to see what was possible and what, in my opinion, playing indoor, I had a ceiling of, I'm only 6'4", I'm 195. I have to be a massive jumper to make it to the highest level. And so when I was like, okay, come to beach, it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter really how high you jump. Can you touch the ball better? Can you be more creative? Can you find ways to score? You got Bruno and guys like Nick who are going to Olympics that's 6 feet tall. It's short. So anything is possible. And so I think that was alluring to me, is like exciting that I could go to beach and there was no ceiling. There was no cap. And so, you know, to answer the question, it changes. And yeah, early on it was just about qualifying. And then later on it was about, you know, building a relationship with somebody and making an impact in the sport and supporting others and spreading the word of the sport, things like that. I would say, yeah.
And I think there's something about growth, right, that excites us and gives us that energy. And when throughout different times of your career, you're gonna feel like that growth is slowing down. Yeah. And then you have to reassess and be like, okay, how can I push myself to get? I have to be going for something that I'm not sure I can achieve. But if you already achieved it and you're just kind of staying in the same place, doing the same thing, eventually that energy runs out. So yeah, like redefining that why am I out here? Should I be out here? Yeah. Instead of like, I'm just here because I said I was going to be here and I'm just doing it. And then you're like, wait, why? Why don't I like it anymore? You know?
For sure.
So just making sure you're growing and evolving, I think, is like the main piece of like contentment in life.
Yeah, and constantly checking in on that why, right? And it's like, oh, I'm going to play this whole season with my guy, and we're doing good, we're doing bad, and it's like, okay, like halfway through, like, what's my why now? You know, like maybe it changed from just the beginning of the year of my focus was this, and then now it's shifted because we're doing really great or we're struggling here. So let's reshift that and reframe that so I can find that joy again, so I can find that energy, like that extra boost.
And not after 4 bad results already.
It's interesting to hear how everyone thinks differently about this one, because I think we assume that people play for a reason, but I think everyone has a different answer on this, and it's I found it interesting to listen to your story, guys.
So different, and you look at I think in our heads we compare everyone to our own, right? Yeah, you don't remember this guy has this going on. This person's from here. This person's
this history story.
That and this, and you know they have 10 kids. Maybe you're like,
whoa,
10 kids. Tyreek Hill. No.
Yeah, for sure. You never know.
But yeah, it's important questions to ask yourself, I think.
That's something I've been not struggling, but I've been thinking of lately. The great conversation with Miles about this, because I listened to his podcast on SANDCAST blew my mind.
He's
actually.
A deep thinker. He's a deep thinker for sure.
But I know in my case, I used to play a bit for let's put it as the fulfillment of ego. So I used to play, to feel good and feel strong, especially in comparison to a hierarchy or to other people.
Right.
And
for sure,
that helped me to give me a lot of fire in the court, but it didn't really make me a nice person or someone I'd like to be. So I worked really hard to strip that somewhat away. But then it's, I feel like a better person, but it's a part of your beach volleyball you're getting out, so you have to put in something else.
A new why.
And a new why. If you're talking about, you have to think the whole time. And it's been something I thought about for a while, especially I had 6 months without the competition. Like, why am I training indoor every day?
Right.
But, I resonate with a lot of things you said about growth and having a goal that's bigger to yourself.
Yeah.
For me, it's just not, I play because it's fun, because, a lot of things are fun in life.
Yeah.
It's been it's an interesting discussion, I think.
There's also the ability for us to leave things on the court too, right? Like having that alter ego where you go on the court and you have this persona, and realistically we're out there because they can sell this sport to entertain fans, right? So what is sports in general? It's like modern day like gladiators, right? Like people want to see you in a tense situation, performing under pressure and battling agagged each other,
pushing
and see
each
what
other,
you do, and see what you do, and then they
we
compare
had a great
that.
fight.
Right? Yeah, we yell at each other all the time
Yeah.
when we played. But people like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's part of the sport. So when that comes out, I think it's okay to let it out, you know. Even though you're like, I'm not a person. I don't really usually get into it with people, but like most of the people who talk don't take it personally. That's why they're so comfortable talking, right?
Yeah.
You talk back like, I don't care. Like we're
Right.
just going at it. We're trying to like mentally and physically and compete with each other.
Yeah.
So I think there is something to that, like where you're just letting that animalistic thing out on the court, because that's what our sport is. We're entertainers, right? And
Yeah.
that's what people want to see, is that raw human emotion, and then compare it to themselves and make them feel something. And then, but the trick is turning it off and turning that ego off, where you're comparing
it's over,
yourselves and you're staying up at night like, oh man, F that guy, like he made me look this and I look like, you know, and fans maybe thought, when no
caring
one's
too much,
actually
yeah.
thinking about you guys or the
No,
match or anything beyond what they saw, or that maybe they were really inspired by how you competed
Right.
with all your heart. That's the tricky part, I think, is turning it off right when you step off the court.
You have a tattoo about it, right, Ruby?
Sure.
You have a tattoo about exactly that.
Yeah, it's kind of what you were saying. It's Latin. It says, "In the arena, you accept the fight." And I feel sometimes too comfortable, and I want this life. And I like before a match, I feel like very. I don't know. I don't want to go on the court because it feels like a bit uncomfortable. And then I remind myself, like, I want this life.
Right.
So I repeat to myself, like, I want this. I want
Right.
this.
Uh-huh.
Let's go onto the court and push myself to limits I didn't even know I could like
Sure.
achieve.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's a very special meaning for me. And
Yeah, I just got goosebumps as you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's how cool is it that we get to play a sport that puts us in a position to feel that range, and
Yeah.
to get that high. Like it's a privilege, right? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's a privilege, and we've put in the work
Yeah.
to get to that point. And so it's how awesome we get to compete against people we know in a community that is caring and giving, and like you guys saw here, it's I love hearing your perspective on this area and the
Mhm.
people here being so friendly
yeah,
and nice, which is great. I like that. I came from Florida. I was an outsider when I came here, and so I felt similar when I came to California. I was like, man, everyone's so nice,
Yeah.
and it's friendly, and it's
Welcoming.
welcoming.
Yeah.
It's so great. But yeah, again, it's can you do that on the court and then come off the court and realize, okay, we prepared as best we could, and we lost, so that's okay. Now we go back to the lab and we work and we grind. We
Give me at least 3 hours for
give
that.
me a 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That's
Actually,
good too, actually. Yeah.
what if you guys? So for you guys both, after a big loss, say you're close at 2015, whatever it was, are you guys taking an hour from each other and then you're going to talk after? Or do you guys have a debrief immediately after the match, or is it you need time? You need time because everyone's different.
I need some time to think.
Yeah.
But I like to talk at least 1 hour after the match just to put things out
Yeah.
there and just let it go, because otherwise I'll hold on to it
Sure.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
bomb can
Sure.
explode.
Uh-huh.
So
Usually,
what about you?
Ruben sits there, and I just splurge my ideas.
He's like, I'm having my inner moment right now, and this guy just keeps talking to me.
Talking and talking. I'm going to stand by the ref again, and you stand there. I'm not sitting in the box with Leo anymore.
Yeah, we had some good talks after bad results,
But
right?
I think so. The most important thing is when we split up in 2022, we were both not used to deal with these things,
No.
so we would react really badly and both be really down for days. And the biggest
Like-
difference I felt in Hamburg after 1 year of different experiences, we both had our own journey. We matured as players.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we lost a tough game or two, and it was better. Like it was like, okay, this sucks obviously, but now we can deal with it and we can focus on the next match, and that's what we did. And we won against Brazil,
Our ego was not involved in the result. That felt really
Uh-huh.
nice.
and we were still appreciate you, Ruben, and you still appreciate me for as a person.
Yeah.
And it still hurts, but I don't know. I felt like it's going better, so we might get back as a team together. It's not certain because the national team is taking some time off. We need to have some talks, figure out
what the coaches want. Like the whole after the Olympics, the new cycle starts, so
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
is new, fresh.
Yeah.
They're all having meetings.
They're all
now.
having meetings. Like we get to go to Costa Rica,
Heck yeah.
and yeah, I'm really curious what the Dutch teams are gonna look like. Actually,
Is there a strong youth program, like new
Yes.
up-and-comers coming out?
Yes.
always
Mace played here. Played
Yeah.
really
Oh,
well.
that's right, yeah.
young player, good
We have Yannick, who is amazing young guy.
Mhm.
lefty, very tall, good blocker.
Yeah.
We have a lot
So-
of talent, man, and I think we have.
We need to keep up.
So you
Yeah.
guys are deep too now, yeah. Like Netherlands used to be just like 2 teams usually. Now it's
There are a
4
lot
or
of
5
The
Yeah,
guys made
younger
a great
guys.
work. We have such a nice program.
Yeah.
Our program is just we're all in the same place because beach volleyball was not really big in the Netherlands. So,
Yeah.
and
No.
Netherlands is in general not really big. So
Yeah.
we all live in the Hague in
Yeah,
the
The
same
Hague,
with the same indoor complex, and just we see each other every day. We train with each other every day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If someone's injured, there's a youth guy coming in.
Yeah.
You have like this cross. How do you say it in English? You help each other up, and
Yeah, collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Support. I mean,
Yeah.
for you guys, do you think, what is it about the Dutch Federation that makes the Federation unique? Why do you think it promotes a healthy environment? I mean, do you think it's because it's always been that way in the history, or is it because of the new personnel and the players that are here now?
Ooh, difficult question. Yeah, I think we're one of the only federations who train every day with each other. We're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always a bit of tension, but
Yeah.
still, like we push each other every day. Yeah, I don't know. It's
I don't feel like our national team is perfect, but especially when I look to other federations, like there are teams that don't talk with each other,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
eat together, or
That's almost every single federation, though.
Yeah.
Like when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, the Dutch are the closest.
That's
Yeah.
how I kind of
I look
hold
at
you
that.
guys, I hold you guys like up here.
The Polish guys, like
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we're switching partners off the court. And
Yeah.
We'll eat dinner with other guys. The Americans, like we're like so toxic
Why?
between the team.
okay. Can you explain to me why don't you guys train all together
make each other better.
and make each other better?
Well, we
and be
do.
friends.
So yeah. Well, so the way our federation is, it's just straight points. You're just competing against each other in points. If you get more points than other guys, then they move up in the money and the health insurance and stuff. So we're constantly fighting each other for those spots. And then we do train against each other, but we call each other up. There's training group once a week, sometimes in the off season. But for the most part, it's the national team's there for athletic trainer support. They have a beautiful
Weightlifting.
weight room, weight
Okay.
coach, sauna, ice baths. They have meeting rooms, but you bring your coach in
Okay.
to do the meetings for the most part. They have nutritionists so they just give us all the resources, and then we pick our partners. We submit it to tell them who we're playing with. But we're always fighting against each other for everything.
But we're also we're fighting for 2 Olympic spots.
Yeah, but we have like a coach ahead of us.
I agree that's different, but
Uh-huh.
we're fighting for 2 Olympic spots, and at the end, we help each other, and the 2 best teams go,
Yeah,
and that's fair, and
Yeah.
that's how it. There's no malice or anything, so
right.
why not fix it all together and say, guys,
You hear that?
we
Hear that,
help,
American players?
we-
Why can't we
we
get
help
along?
each other, and
Why can't we support each other?
if you deserve it and you beat me,
yeah.
then go you.
Right, for sure, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just very separated for us. I think back in the day when it was like Carrie and Misty and them, and a lot of the older American players, they were more veterans. They knew the sport better than anyone on the administrative side of things. So they're like, don't get involved. We know what's best for us. We know what teams, just like give us support. We got this. And that's how it seemed to be. And they're like, we do not want to give the federation any power to manipulate our teams and blah, blah, blah. That's what the top players wanted. So when USA created the system, that's okay, fine. That's what we're going to do. You guys keep getting medals, we'll support.
Right.
And they built this system to support the athletes.
Mhm.
It's shifted a little bit, but it's still old school, and they really haven't made an effort to adapt it
Sure.
necessarily. They do a little bit at the youth level, like they
Yeah.
try to find young athletes and then invite them into the gym. They have a developmental program now, or they've always kind of had it. But at the top level, the athletes didn't really.
Imagine if
weren't
they
usually
all
interested.
started to train again together. It would be very scary.
We're done.
Yeah.
You think?
I don't know. I agree with Try.
We do
and
practice against each other because
We practice
we're not
each
going to
other.
call the super low level teams
course
to
not.
train. You know,
Right.
we probably only go within the top 8 teams
Right.
that we call A.
Okay.
This week, let's practice Wednesday.
The league teams.
But it's very against.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
not
one
like
time a
training
week.
together. Like
not learning from
your
each other.
No,
coaches.
you're not learning.
We'll
from each
drill.
other.
We'll drill a little bit.
Okay.
You work on what you work on, but we're not like, hey, what do you think? Like,
Right.
no collaboration,
I
no
think
sharing.
People want to hold their strategies and secrets close to their chest
Mhm.
and not show them, which
I think that hurts our federation.
It hurts our
Imagine
federation.
how much information we have that we can
That's
share
correct.
with each other,
Yeah.
especially
I think-
with our veterans.
I think like a couple of years ago, before Tokyo, Tala Hildebrand was one of the coaches at USA, and for 2 years or maybe like a year, there was required training groups for the teams that were qualifying for the Olympics or
Okay.
trying to qualify,
Yeah.
and you had 3 or 4 teams consistently, multiple times a week, training as USA. Which I don't know if that really happened this last quad. I don't know if there was a ton of that in general.
There was a little bit.
A little bit of it,
Yeah,
but I
it's
remember
like once a week for a month. Or
yeah,
something.
it was light, right? But I remember the conversation because I was there. I just volunteered my time to learn. I wanted to be around the guys. I wanted to hear what the coaches were saying. If someone was hurt, I got to practice a little bit, which was great. It was a good experience for me. But there was something about Hildebrand talking about we are a team. You know, only 2 teams will get to go, but because of the support and the practice and how hard teams 3 and 4 are pushing teams 1 and 2, they will be better in the Olympics, and which can generate more points, which can generate maybe a medal.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't go to the Olympics, but you have a role in helping our USA program get medals at the Olympics.
And you have a chance.
And you have a chance. Of course you have a chance. So I think that was really cool, and it was the first time I think that everyone was hesitant to be like, okay, USA all together because
Yeah,
like,
it was hard. Like we're all like,
It was
I don't
weird.
know about this.
yeah, because everyone was fighting for themselves, and I think not having, whereas you guys have a few coaches that help multiple teams, correct? And it's umbrella.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we had that, it would be a totally different game. But because everyone is on their own with providing their own coaches, there's benefits and perks of that. But maybe the downside is having that like almost college-like atmosphere where you're grinding together,
Yeah.
you're building up your counterparts, you're helping them. It's just we're not there yet, and maybe it's our ego, maybe it's the system that's in place.
There's probably a benefit to it as well, right?
Yeah,
where you're just constantly like high competition.
And you guys
people at
also
practice.
play against each other in the AVP.
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah,
Right, so that's the problem
Yeah.
as well.
We're
I mean,
just-
you guys are doing on the Dutch tour too.
we're
no?
constantly competing
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
On the-
We don't
on
play
the-
this tour.
You don't play
Okay,
Dutch
how
tour.
about on the world tour or even Olympics?
Mhm.
Do you cheer for your other guys to medal when you're not in the tournament, when you're out of a tournament?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
I think a few years ago I would actually really wanted them to lose, but as I grow
Right.
older, it doesn't. Doesn't really.
Maybe try not to.
I have
like-
thoughts of this. Like
Yes.
I want them to lose, but I've also thought like, okay, I genuinely like
I know I should want them to win.
exactly.
No,
So
right?
I feed those thoughts more.
Yes, right. There you go. There you go.
It doesn't really. It doesn't impact the game if you hope that they're losing. And actually, you're not really a great person if you're going to
No.
cheer against your Dutch fellow teammates. So
You can be neutral, right?
I'm in a moment in which I actually want, especially in the Olympics on the World Champs. Like
Yeah.
we go to the Netherlands, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to be and to.
I don't think any Americans cheer for each other ever.
That's the difference.
But
to be
cheering
honest.
and like hoping they will lose is a big
well,
difference, right?
no, hoping. I think every American team hopes the other ones lose,
Yeah.
which I don't think is healthy. But I also think almost every federation is like. I think that's how our sport is. Your number one focus: beat your fellow countrymen,
Yeah.
and then number two,
Yeah.
try to do as good as you can on the world tour.
It's hard because
For most countries, I think that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
The way that they've built the system, it's not countries versus countries. There's
No.
no one at the end of the year accumulates it. Hey, USA
Got the
won
most
the
medals.
year.
Yeah.
They get a prize
No.
like anything.
Right.
They don't even acknowledge it. Nobody counts it.
Yeah.
The only thing that dictates us getting more or less money is us beating our fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
For us.
right, yeah, that
So
person
every day.
loses, I win more money,
Yeah.
so I would like them to lose.
And it could be your
Which is
it could be
rational.
your-
Like
which is rational.
it's your
right?
health insurance, like
right? for
legitimate.
You feed your family
money.
with the money,
Yeah,
yeah.
some people have families. This is your
Mhm.
health
Right.
insurance for your kid, for your wife.
Then we get into the money problem of beach volleyball, which is
Yeah.
not.
How do you guys get a stable income in America? Like,
You got to put together multiple
Yeah.
pieces.
Okay.
We're a lot luckier because of AVP.
Yeah,
And
good
AVP,
branding.
we can leverage a lot of sponsorships
Okay.
through that. Brands here don't care that much about the World Tour. They don't see it as
Obviously,
right? Like
yeah.
nobody's watching it in
No.
America, not really. But the AVP, we're on TV a lot, or at least on lately some random
What channels?
Random channel.
There's
Yeah.
a handful of different channels. We're on
YouTube,
Valley,
whatever it is,
CW.
yeah. But we get a lot more exposure through AVP,
Yeah.
so that's sponsorships are better there. You have that bucket, and then you have the prize money bucket, which AVP's. If we play the same amount of events, AVP and World Tour, we're gonna make double on AVP.
The elite
Wow.
AVP prize money is of a major. It's like an elite.
It's an elite, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
and AVP's an elite prize money, but without all the teams in the world.
Yeah,
So it's
pretty good teams though.
Good. No,
It's
we
good
have
teams.
we're deep for
But
sure.
no
like-
Molsorum, no Amon Helvik.
no,
Correct.
come on, yeah.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the level to go there
And
is
with the league, is the prize money going up or?
It's a little different with the league.
yeah,
It's-
they changed it, but it's
pretty-
probably higher. I would say
It's pretty good.
the
So
average player is getting paid higher.
the average player is going to make more. There's going to be 8 weekends of the league. Your team will only play 4 of those weekends, and you'll get an appearance fee, $5,000 per person, per weekend, just to show up and play, whether you win or lose.
Where can we buy a green
I-
card?
So,
Where-
to
where do you
to
get a green
qualify
card?
was 20,000
Yes,
because it's you're playing 4 of the 8 weekends.
Yeah.
To qualify is just 20,000
straight up.
straight up,
Wow.
and then if you make top 4,
Mhm.
I believe you get paid out
Yep, more
based
money.
on that.
But you're dependent on the other gender also, right?
That's a weird
Yes.
concept.
Both. There's 2 prize pools, I believe. There's a prize pool for your men's and women's combined, where
Okay.
that the winner will get $50,000, I think, and then at the other side, I think it's just men, just women, same kind of payout.
Oh, really? Is it?
I
So
think
much
so.
money.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
it's more than I
Per
thought
team
they were
for
going to
both.
have.
huh.
Yeah, it's good money.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
Okay,
So-
and
So imagine you have that,
yeah,
your sponsorships,
Yeah.
and then you have the World Tour, and then you have the national team support. If you can put all 4 of those buckets together, now you're making a good living.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like it used to be for the. I mean, AVP used to be huge back in the day, and
You know,
these
like
guys
20
would-
events a summer. It's not
20
the case.
events, they'd make
Yeah,
over
6
100.
figures.
Yeah, over 6 figure. Like the average player would make 6 figures.
Right.
And obviously,
Why is it
inflation,
declining? I feel like the AVP could be as big as the NBA.
Well, we
or
have
something.
we have NBA, NFL, MLB.
Yeah, but
like
beach
all
volleyball
these
is
sports.
such a
They just take the fans' attention, and
Okay.
they have so much money. They're driving us, and we're in fantasy football. We're like
Uh-huh.
they're giving us so much information from those sports that we can't afford to get into that information
Mhm.
stream, that
Okay.
media stream,
Mhm.
to be on the ESPNs and like to go mainstream.
Maybe one day.
But this league is a thing where we're
Right.
shifting it. They're trying to get fan bases
Yeah.
in
That's
different
the hard
parts of the country.
That's the hard part about beach, right? You have partners that maybe play together for a season and then they split.
Yeah.
Or they play 6 tournaments together and they're done. And there's no loyalty necessarily to the team as much as it is family and friends who like try.
Yeah, like who's Kyle and Tim's fan base? It's
Right.
his friends and family
Correct.
from Florida
Exactly.
and Tim's friends and family from California.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then if people see you play together or hear, hopefully, like we have stuff like this where fans can hear your podcast and they can resonate with you and they connect with you in your story.
Yeah.
Now that's my team because I connected with them,
Right.
and
Mhm.
but we don't have those many media opportunities to connect with people.
So I think what the league, and what the league is doing is now having a city backing that. And so if you're from Miami, if you're from New York, hey, maybe I love beach volleyball. I don't really have a fan of a person or a player, but now I have the New York Smash, the New York Nitro,
Nitro.
whoever it is,
Y-
and now it's like, oh, maybe
Uh-huh.
I can support these guys.
You can buy shirts,
You can buy
merchandise.
shirts, you
Yeah.
can buy merchandise, which we've never had before.
And now they represent you because you're from New York,
Correct.
right? So now that's my team.
Mhm.
We're assigning you a team to cheer for.
Yeah.
Now, right?
It's a big potential. I
Before
think.
it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I don't even know who you guys are. It's just beach volleyball player. I don't know
It's
who
just
to
a last
cheer
name.
for.
It's just a last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like now I know who to cheer for.
Right.
My team, my New York team, or
That's cool.
whoever it is. Yeah.
So
So it's
different.
a new.
And what
approach.
about the teams who are like right under the league?
That's
like-
me.
Yeah, but how would you
Oh,
like?
there's 2 teams that actually get to be reserves.
Okay.
You can go.
Yeah, can I go to the
Restroom, go for it.
Yeah.
I got this. Oh, the mic fell.
Yes.
How
So
do how does the AVP or the federation develop like the teams underneath the league?
So those are the teams that are going to see the biggest challenges in this new system, right? Because for some of these teams, if you don't make the league, you maybe played 3 or 4 AVP events this summer.
Okay.
There's only 3 big events, and if you didn't do the tour stops, which there was Denver and Wapaka and Virginia, I think just 3. That's it. You maybe played 3 or 4 events this summer, and your summer of beach volleyball is over, right? And so that is going to be hard for a lot of teams because we're used to having 8 to 10 tournaments a summer, which isn't a ton, but it's a good amount.
Yeah.
So for some of those teams, beach season is now over, and so it is hard. And for the league, in their defense, they need to start somewhere.
Of course,
you have to start somewhere, and you got to start at the top. So you start at the top with 8 teams per gender. And then hopefully you see some profits this year. Hopefully there's some advancement. And then next year, boom, we can expand that to 12 teams or maybe 16 teams. And those people who were in the bubble below now have a chance to make the league next year. But yeah, a lot of younger athletes who are on the grind and trying to make it work aren't happy with the league.
I get it.
Because there's not a lot of volleyball to be played.
It was the same with the Elite 16 and the Challengers.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
But they add the qualification, so it's like a little chance for us players. But is there a qualification or a stand-in teams?
Just, well, also this year is interesting because there's only essentially two qualifying events for most of the top 6 teams. Only played in
only played in 2 because they were playing World Tour. So they missed. A lot of teams missed Huntington Beach.
Yep.
So they had 2 AVP events this summer, which is probably their lowest amount ever in the history of the sport in terms of the high-level teams playing only 2 AVP events, which is crazy. But luckily, they're going to make the league, so they'll make some more money. They'll have some more opportunities to make more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of AVP giving some focus or spending some extra time in the development of the younger players, it's not a focus, I would say, right now.
Okay.
And only because they have X amount of dollars to work with and to generate more revenue for the next year where maybe they can put some more money into development of the younger players, they have to put it into the top players first. And so it sucks for some teams. It hurts to hear.
And hopefully some more tournaments like the Hermosa Open, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, tournaments like that, I think, are healthy competition that forces AVP to reevaluate, okay, what are we doing? Do we need to have international players come play? Do we need to add a few more events? Because everyone loved Hermosa. We want to have an event in Hermosa. The city wants an event in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah, AVP tried to put
Okay.
on an event, and it just didn't work out for whatever reasons. It's hard to put events on in California beaches as well. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
But Hermosa wanted one. I think the dates didn't work out for AVP.
Okay.
But yeah, it was good that it happened, right? Like, they get to see
great.
it. And
So awesome.
The
it's
fans
Hermosa,
loved it,
'cause
yeah.
this is where there's so many fans here that want to see an event. So I think it was important to just have something.
Yeah, that was most of the like a fun thing about this tournament. Like all of the fans, like some older people were like in the crowd and were talking to me. They knew my results and like, my career, so it was like it was fun to be around.
Yeah.
So,
People here love beach volleyball.
yeah.
Yes.
love it.
We don't have that culture that much over
Right.
our place. Will you guys come
They
play
love
some Dutch competition soon?
Sure.
It'd be great.
What do we got going on?
Maybe a King of the Court one.
Oh yeah, King of the Court is great. I've been trying to get it out there.
Are you playing Miami?
No, I'm not. I've been bad at making it happen, but I love King of the Court.
Are you guys
Wilco
playing Miami?
and everything?
No.
Got it.
There's a bit of holiday, a bit of no volleyball. For
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's-
We're going to Costa Rica.
I'm
We don't
on
have
no
time for
ball. I
volleyball.
wanna
We
do
going
that. I wanna go to
surfing.
Costa
Yeah, you
Rica.
guys got the right. You got the right.
You guys
game
need to
plan.
get that Costa Rica time in because we know it, or we've heard what the winter is like in the Netherlands.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It doesn't snow there though, right?
Sometimes in the winter, yeah.
In The
definitely.
Hague? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
We still bike to practice.
And we still back to
Oh,
practice.
really?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Before we go, we break it down. How much of the year are you guys out on the beach in The Hague, and then how much are you
I think
indoors?
From May till late September outside, and I think
April.
April sometimes, yeah. And the rest of the year is just indoors. Yeah,
And it's what's the facility like? Some of us have never even played
it's
indoors.
like a huge indoor facility, but with sand
yeah.
and like 6 courts.
Oh, six courts.
6 courts, yeah,
indoors.
it's
Wow.
huge. Yeah, we have a gym.
So you can work out,
Yeah,
Little kitchen where we can hang out
Yeah.
and chat.
eat,
Like
meetings,
meeting
it's
rooms.
like
You
an
can do
office.
everything in one. Everything you guys do is
in one
Yeah.
facility.
in one facility,
Yeah.
and you go there. even when you're training outside, and then go back to the facility to use
There
the.
are 6 courts outside of the
Also-
facility.
Oh, right
So
outside.
it's
yeah.
right next to it. Got
Yeah.
it.
Is there? Sorry, is there wind and
Yeah.
the elements like?
Yeah.
It's pretty windy.
Indoor,
there.
no, but
Obviously not.
no.
We should
Fans maybe.
Someone should design something to have wind indoor,
Indoor.
because we're really good without wind. Like just
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Hamburg, right?
We
Hamburg
know.
was
Yeah.
crazy.
We don't want to
we
draw you
set
guys.
high balls, bangs, deep seam,
For sure. Right.
and
Yeah.
go for it. And
Yeah.
when we're outside and it's windy, the game is different.
For sure.
And then you play against Karambula and you defend nothing in the whole game.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Do you have a date that you have to report back to Netherlands for national team?
October 1st.
October 1st.
October
Everyone's got to be back.
Only the teams that want to play the
The
end
fall
of the
tournaments.
year.
Yeah.
I think the Olympic teams will take some more time off,
Yeah.
as they should.
Yeah.
The
sense.
tough long
Schedule.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what time do you
Are
have
there
to?
any retirements on the announced retirements on the?
Robert Mewhirter
Yeah.
is
That's right.
retiring.
Yeah,
He did it.
retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
And
I thought
Alex
I
is
heard-
gonna go for another 4 years.
The rest is speculation
Yeah.
and tea.
Well,
Sure.
cheers to.
I think Alex
Robbie.
can maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, just a Robert. Alex has too much fun, so I think he will.
Yeah.
I would think he will play for a few more.
Yeah, a few more years.
Yeah, I don't know how many, but
First time practicing, Alex and Robbie were looking really up to them, and I was pretty nervous. And there were just so much stupid jokes, so much fun, so much.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was fart jokes in the warm up.
Mhm.
What am I living?
they make us feel comfortable.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that is-
They make life fun. So
Yeah.
sad Robbie's leaving, and
I'm gonna miss the talks at dinner, after the tournament. Just all of us just
Mm-hmm.
yapping about anything.
Those guys
Yeah.
are good.
Like,
good
yeah.
guys.
Great.
Everyone from the Netherlands. I never met a player I didn't like from the Netherlands for sure. That's nice.
thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it,
you.
mate.
For sure.
Yeah. At the end, I think most beach volleyball players we share a lot of things together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can all. I don't know if we all get
I would
along,
love to play fours. How do you say?
but
Fours.
Fours.
seems to be a thing here, eh?
Yes.
We love it here.
I did it for the
Bring a
first time.
Dutch
You played
force team.
ace.
You played ace.
Ace.
That's a little different for us.
Yeah, but I would love to compete.
Professional ace.
In that.
tour.
No. Oh, okay.
Sure.
But are there real tournaments for fours in America?
There's they're not they're still kind of amateur, but people throw together money to where it's bigger. But there's one in Newport that they're
Good.
trying to put together really
Yeah.
big.
that
money.
could be fun.
Yeah,
we
like
would join.
International teams or
yeah, I
There
think
was
there
international
are.
players playing for
I think
sure.
Ringeri's playing.
One,
Yeah, Ringera
2,
played.
3, 4.
Let's go.
There you go. Newport
Let's
Beach,
go.
we're coming. It's coming up
If
here,
we're
I
playing
think.
forwards, I want some Dutch guys.
Let's go.
I'll set you guys. You guys just go over there and just do what
Okay,
you
I'll
do
play
best.
I'll play back row.
Here you go.
2 pin hitters.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be fun.
All set for
Love
sure.
it.
It'll be a blast.
Well, guys, anything else before we go? Oh, can you tell our fans where to follow you guys on your journey and all that?
Instagram, Ruben Penninga.
Same. Leon Luini, Instagram mostly. We don't really have other social media.
No.
Yeah.
And on our other media, we follow US stuff, because wherever we open our phone, it's USA, politics, beach
Just
volleyball,
SANDCAST.
SANDCAST,
SANDCAST BS. Just flooding your phones all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
That's what I'm hoping for.
We enjoyed. I enjoyed LA so much. I want to come back, and hopefully in 4 years, when the Olympics are here,
Yeah.
I just
Uh-huh.
want to put this out
you
there.
go.
Oh,
We'll-
heck yeah.
We'll keep you in our mind, and you're always welcome here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
come on back.
Really grateful that you invited us to the
Of course,
podcast.
yeah.
And,
Love
It's been an
having
honor.
to LA. So
And
you
happy
wanna go to the
birthday to
Netherlands?
Ruben.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ruben.
He had a
thank you.
birthday yesterday, was
Yesterday,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
yesterday.
little surprise party to Ruby.
Little
On the
surprise
beach,
par-
9/11.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9/11.
Yeah.
That's right.
One more thing I want to say to you guys before we leave is I admire the passion you have for each other, for the game, and that joy that you had in Hamburg when the season is tough and you've lost a couple. Remind yourself what it felt like to be on the court again for the first time and having that fun and having that smile, because it's there, right? And so the season is like this, but can you get yourself back to that moment of that joy and happiness? And I think you guys are going to be great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
so
Gal.
much.
Yeah,
Thanks,
for
guys.
sure.
Thanks, Ryan.
guys.
Thanks,
Shoots.
Shoots.
Shoots.